A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Chapter number 4. The cycle alteration of the biochemical. Following are a few paragraphs from the documents written by Willie Lynch and furthermore introduced and practiced by millions of white slave masters all over the country. This part is a reference point to the antidote that Lynch and his following feared concerning the future of American slave economics. Here's the letter. Our experts warned us about the possibilities of this phenomenon occurring. For they say the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time. If it can touch substantial, original historical base, and they advised us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusion, that each illusion will twirl in its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. This creation of a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions entails the principles of cross-breeding the nigger and the horse, as we stated above, the purpose of which is to create a diversified division of labor, thereby creating different levels of labor and different values of illusions at each connecting level of labor, the results of which is the severance of the points of original beginnings for each sphere of illusion. The severing of points of each beginning of the illusions. Okay, let's make sure I don't skip a page here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is like page 32 out of 110 or such like that. Now back to the book. Before going any further into the traumatic after effects of Willie Lynch and his equals, let us understand that every thought the human mind has, it immediately produces a chemical equal in response to that particular thought, based on the intensity level of the event or given set of circumstances. The individual or group of people under such conditions will produce a common chemical bond synonymous with those events, I should say. In the case of the black man and woman under the program of such skillful slave makers, the black slaves were intentionally frozen in a fixed state of terror, ignorance, and self-hatred toward their self and kind. The 3 previous chapters describe the base conditioning, which are the remaining results brought about by the biochemical altering of black consciousness during the traumatic process of breaking the black slave. Never before on the record of time or on the record of any nation's history has there been such a scientifically crafted and executed method of mind control. What makes this type of mind control so long-lasting and unique? The success of Mr. Lynch's doctrine is not merely based on the investigation, exaggeration, and magnification of economic, physical characteristics or sexual gender differences, but also the effects brought about based on the biochemical or hormonal effects produced and recorded in the physical anatomy of the black man and woman through 4 centuries of intentional shocking of the neurological system. We must realize that once a certain thought is repeated in the mind, there is left in the chemistry of the individual a recorded imprint that actually blends into and bonds the genetic structure of the human cell. Now that we have laid down some of the basic fundamentals for understanding why Willie Lynch's impact has had such long-term effects on the black man and woman, let us expand our understanding of the intensity of this wisely executed form of indoctrination. Let us remember that we are not focusing in on the physical capture, rape, and bondage of the black body, though this does lay the foundation for the Euro slave masters' method of biochemical and mental destruction. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Our purpose for discussing this subject matter is solely to give you a clear description of the detailed damage on a microscopic level, and to show why we as black men and women have not been able to put a complete end to the widespread madness of internal conflict and division. Beneath the surface of the subconscious mind of the African brought to the northern part of America is an indoctrination of divisions firmly planted in the core of our subconscious mind that has chemically penetrated the black genetic structure. The depth of the Willie Lynch letter reaches far beyond basic mind control. It is a scientifically detailed psychology that can only be reversed and broken based on one method. That method is effective only in the 400 years. The 400-year-old biochemical method is severed on a secular level. During the physical slave process, why did the slave master use tactics of fear and envy, jealousy, and distrust while he had already maintained physical control of his captured human stock? Why were the previous elements of social control necessary after the black man and woman were apparently held in check and in the grip of the chain and shackle? I'm going to stop here and we're going to move on to the next video.